Hey, how is everyone? I hope that everyone is going well, or things are going well in everyone's respective lives. I don't want to use cliches, but sometimes we all have our little downers in our life, and we have to work through them. But hope that all in all, things are looking on the upward path for everyone. That would be very good. I'm a content creator here on YouTube. I'm not a famous YouTube creator. Um, I make a lot of photo slide videos primarily where I deal with slices of life, particularly relating to my ethnicity and race, or lineage, should I say, more aptly, being a foundational black American, and also other cultural and ethnic things in terms of people that um, I have some relationship with, or you know, some other cultural aspects, particularly in regard to Brazil, because I've had an affinity for Brazil, and I've been fortunate enough to have visited there several times in the past. Um, to Mexico, there's connections there. And also, it took one trip to Curacao, which I thoroughly enjoyed also. So, being that as it may, I'm not someone that normally makes podcasts, broadcast type presentations that deal with subject matter uh, of a serious vein in terms of discussions of politics and of racial politics, etc. Now, I have dealt with them, but when I deal with them, I would deal with them with my photo slide presentations. I mean, I've done actually several in terms of that, but in terms of discussing it, I realize that that's not my forte. I leave that to people that are very good at that and do a uh, very good job at that. They are very thorough. People like definitely my favorite, Professor Black Truth. That man is awesome. He's a reservoir of knowledge. I just like his style the best, I guess, in terms of style and persona, whatever, just on a personal level for me, because I'm nowhere near on his level or whatever, but just like he's more low key, he's not really into the personality aspects. He's just like bringing that hard knowledge and facts and insights. Of course, Tariq Nasheed, that brother is awesome. He's done so much to educate foundational Black Americans in terms of our lineage, as well as contributions of Black people throughout history, which has been excellent. There have been other people like Brother Harvey, Your World. I mean, this brother's very insightful too, and he's like an everyman. By that I mean, he's not someone that has quote unquote the credentials, just like me. He's just like a regular, like regular people in our regular lives. But this brother is very knowledgeable and brings insights and is very insightful, etc. Of course, Jason Black. I mean, that brother, he brings the fire. So anyway, there's so many good people. Philip Scott, so many others that are, they go well into the politics and discussion, in terms of their broadcast. Like I said, my focus has mainly been primarily uh, photo slide presentations, as well as a few videos that I filmed when I'm out and about, or some of my travels. I've been fortunate enough to have traveled to Brazil, to Mexico, or to Curacao, and a few other places. But anyway, what I want to do is to sort of like follow up in regards to some of those discussions in regards to the needs of foundational Black Americans to address this to uh, non-black individuals, and how you can be supportive, as well as white Americans also, or white people. A lot of times, people will give moral support, which is great. And even that we don't really get enough of. But if people really want to, and I'll just sort of like maybe briefly, address each selected ethnic groups, to offer their support, because like as Tariq and others have pointed out, just to say in terms of immigration, it's not like idle talk when they say that uh, black politicians and black energy of the civil rights movement was the impetus that really allowed the immigrants, particularly non-black, I mean non-white immigrants, to come to the United States. Because before 1965, the percentage of non-white individuals being allowed in the United States was very low. Foundational Black American people were at the forefront of that. That is no lie. I mean, you can look that up yourselves. Um, but everyone else has gotten legal recourse in regards to justice. I mean, that's been well discussed recently. The Asian hate bill. Don't need to discuss that. That's been discussed at length. Now, people of the Jewish ethnicity, they're going to be getting a bill. The whole thing with in terms of how Native Americans, the so-called red Native Americans, have been compensated for things that were done to them in terms of their heritage or whatever. Now the thing is that and I think it's a fatal flaw, as others have pointed out too, for Foundation of Black America and particularly the leaders. We will advocate for all of these individuals, but it's not reciprocated. So I'm just going to piggyback on that just to say, like say for East Indians, I've never really seen on a grassroots level any East Indians really advocating for Black people. Many times, as others have pointed out, it's just the opposite, or at the very least, it's indifference. Uh, there's no support, but you know, it's definitely not the things that Black leaders and people that have been involved in social justice issues have advocated for these groups. Of East Indian lineage, Pakistanis or whatever. That says the same thing for Asians too. I mean, that again has been discussed well at length, and it's like we've really been denigrated and wronged um, by these groups, and the thing is that foundational Black Americans as a whole, as a vast majority of whole, we've done nothing to these ethnic groups. I mean, the groups that have, and again, to not be accusatory or whatever, but just going throughout history, and I don't need to give a history lesson, um, you know, white supremacy as a whole has been something that has been putting the other non-white races down in their respective countries, where they've been in India, the history of India, the various countries in Africa. I mean, I don't need to detail that. That's well known, or if it's not known, it can be easily be found out. The Asian countries, World War II, the internment camps, etc., etc. It's time, if you're going to really be helpful, to really step up and be supportive, in terms of really speaking out, like, we've gotten our rights, for example, uh, let, support the effort for getting reparations in terms of financial, not this one last fits all thing. Reparations in terms of cash reparations for Black people. Advocate for that. Openly advocate for it. Speak out. Now, I'm going to briefly address the Caucasian individuals. There's some people that have a so-called liberal mindset, or at least they will say that we support Black people, like, or foundational Black Americans, whatever you may refer to us as. Don't say that to us and give us that treatment. What you need to do, as other other individuals have eloquently stated, speak with your people, speak with your group, your relatives, your white brothers and sisters, your white politicians in your neighborhood. Speak out. Don't be on code with racism. Be off code, if we're going to put it in that term. If you're going to really be an ally and be supportive, be for real. The injustices that have happened to foundation of Black people. We're not just talking about slavery. We're talking about the whole nine after that. We're talking about Jim Crow. We're talking about redlining. We're talking about highways being put to destroying middle class neighborhoods. Cities that have been, towns that have been destroyed. You know the deal. So I think that as a whole, what white people and other non-white, non-Black people can do to be supportive of foundational Black Americans is to openly give us the same type of support that foundational Black Americans as a whole have given these other groups. Be good allies, not lip service allies, not, I listen to rap music, and as Tariq Nasheed says, the yo yo yo, and all that nonsense. I mean, in terms of like lip service, superficial stuff. Be a real ally, be supportive, give financial support, speak out in public, you know, get a part of juries and give justice when there's injustice that's being perpetrated upon people that have been alleged, foundation of Black Americans being alleged of crimes, the whole 9 yards. Be really supportive and be there for foundational Black Americans, just like foundational Black Americans have been for you. So that's my little bit of a tangential rant, going off script from like what I normally do. This probably might be the last time. I'll go back to making my, video photo slides and some other things. I have some other things in the works, but I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I hope that you're giving it some thought, and I hope that's something that you might incorporate into some of your actions. Take care. Continue to have a good life, a good positive life. Take care.